Hello everyone, welcome to art. Today we're going to be making 4 crosses that will turn into 1 cross. It'll all make sense in a little bit. So let's begin. Alright, so for this project what we'll need is 2 pieces of drawing paper. We're going to cut these pieces of paper in half, which I already did. So at the end you should have 4 pieces of paper. Okay, you'll also need a ruler or some sort of straight edge, like the edge of a book, or something else that has a straight line on it somewhere, which you can trace. We'll also need a green colored pencil, a black colored pencil, a brown colored pencil, and then any color that you want, plus I think a dark green colored pencil will be good too. Okay, so let's begin. First thing we need to do is take one of your half sheets of paper. We'll put these other ones off to the side. What we're gonna do here is we're going to fold this in half hot dog style, just like this. Okay. Ooh, here's a folding trick for you. If you have scissors, you can use the scissors to push down on that fold to make it really nice and sharp. I like to do this when I'm doing origami, but we're not doing origami today, just folding. Okay, then go ahead and take your black colored pencil, or just a normal pencil if you would like, and we are going to draw a line straight down following this fold. Now, how far away from the fold should it be? Well, I would say about a finger's width away. So what I'm going to do is take my straight edge, I'm going to measure about a finger width away from the fold. I'm gonna try to make my ruler parallel to the fold line. Then I'm gonna take my pencil and make a little mark right there and right up here. And while I have my ruler here, I might as well just do the whole thing like this. Okay, so remember, this line is drawn with your black colored pencil, and it's about a finger width away from the fold. Now what we're going to do is we're going to bring our straight edge down maybe about a third of the way, so that the top of it is a third of the way down. And we're going to draw a straight line across like this. Great. Okay, now we're going to measure 2 finger widths below this line. So you've got 1 and 2, and I'm gonna make a little mark right there. Then I'm gonna take my straight edge and I'm gonna make a straight line going across from that mark, just like this. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go to the bottom of my piece of paper, and starting a little ways up, it looks about 2 finger widths up, right here, I'm going to draw a little curve. This is going to be like a little half of a hill, just like that. Okay, now, if you accidentally color or draw lines on the outside or on the inside, that's okay, because we're gonna color this whole thing black eventually. But right now, I'd like you to take your scissors and we're gonna cut this out, just like this. Try to cut as straight as you can. I'm gonna speed through this, but you can pause the video and cut at your own pace. Okay, now you should have something that looks like this. Now, I'm guessing you guys probably already guessed what we're gonna make, but when you unfold this, it's gonna look like a cross on a hill. Okay, so now let's take our second piece of paper. We are going to fold this in half as well. Just like this. And I'm gonna take my scissors, make that really nice crease. Okay, so now I'm gonna take my cross and fold it back up, just like this. And we're gonna trace that onto this piece of paper. Now, I almost put it down the wrong way. You see how this fold is facing to the right? Well, I want to take my folded piece of paper and face its fold to the right as well. All right, so let's put the cross down just like this. And we're gonna trace it as best we can with a black colored pencil. So, go like that, and this. Go down here. All right, and we've got another cross. So, let's cut it out. All right, so now you should have two crosses. We're gonna take our newly made cross and leave it folded and put it off to the side. Now, we're gonna take another piece of paper and we're going to get rid of the black crayon for now. Instead, I would like you to take out a brown crayon, or if you have a tan crayon, I think that would work even better for this. But this is what I have. So, let's fold this piece of paper, hot dog style as well. Line up those corners, fold it up, get my scissors. Perfect, okay. So now, making sure that my folds are both facing right. I've got my fold here, it's facing right. Got my fold here, it's facing right as well. I'm gonna trace this cross on again. Now, this is a little bit different than last time. I'm gonna have my brown crayon, and I'm going, no, sorry, not crayon, brown colored pencil, and I'm going to trace the cross portion of this, just like this. But when I get down to the hill, I'm going to take my green crayon, and I'm gonna trace the hill like that. All right, now I've got another cross to cut out. All right, done with this template, let's put it off to the side. And the final piece of, or the final half piece of paper, we are going to do the same thing we just did. So I'll speed this one up. All right, so now what we have is one black cross, one brown cross, another brown cross, and another black, oops, another black cross, so we got two of each. What we're going to do next is we're gonna open each of these up. Okay, to start out, I would like you guys to take both of your black crosses. And then there's one more supply I realized I forgot to get, a glue stick. So let me grab that really quick. Okay, once you have your glue stick, we're going to do this. Go ahead and take some glue, and we're going to put it on one half of one of your crosses. So I'm putting it on one half of my first black cross that I made. Now, it doesn't really matter which side you do this on. I'm going to do it on the part that has colored pencil because this is going to be the inside. Okay, now for this next part, I think it would be helpful for us to sort of fold this down a little bit and then fold this one as well. So we're going to make sure, if you notice, we have the left side of our cross all gluey, and we are going to put that on the right side of this other black cross, like this. So this might be a little tricky, but we're gonna do our best. Let's see. Okay. Yep, so probably good to start with the cross beam right there. Then put this on, and then glue this down. Okay, so now maybe you can see we're starting to get something 3D that's gonna be able to stand up on its own. So squeeze those well, make sure they're really tight, and that should be good. So this, remember, was our black cross. We can put this off to the side for now. We're now gonna do the same exact thing here. So take your glue, and I'm gonna glue the right or the left side of my first brown cross. I believe this was my first one. Okay, So let's get a lot of glue on there. And now comes the tricky part. We're gonna stick the left side of this cross to the right side of this cross. Just like this. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. There we go. So now we've got another cross that stands up. So this is our black cross. There's not very much black on it that you can see anymore, but it's the one that started out black. This is our brown cross. We are going to glue these together like this. So I'm gonna put some glue on the black cross first, I think, okay? Now you can flatten this out a little bit if you want. It'll pop back pretty easily. All right, now in order to make this work, here's what we're going to do. I had to flatten this cross out a little bit so that I could put the glue on easier. I am now going to take this cross and I'm gonna try to find, okay, which one of these fins is actually two crosses glued together? If you look close, do you see how that's two crosses glued together? I'm gonna hold this fin up like this, and I'm gonna bring the cross down on the glue of the other one, just like that, and try to straighten them up. They might not all line up perfectly, but that's okay. Then we're gonna push down like this. Just like that. Okay, so now I'm gonna unfold this part that got smooshed a little bit, and we should have a 4-part cross that stands up on its own. Now this in itself is very impressive, so good work if you made it this far. If you are looking at this and you're thinking, I have no idea how he got to this, go ahead and go through the video one more time. It might help you to see it done twice. If you are still confused about it, let me know though, and I can talk you through this as well. Okay, we are now going to put some more color on this. So right now you should have some indication of which one is the brown one and which one is the black one. As I am looking at this, I'm realizing I can't quite remember exactly which one is which, but that's okay. I think you can just choose any side you want and flatten out your cross like this, and we can start coloring. To start off, we're gonna make the Good Friday cross. Now, this cross is the cross on which Jesus died, and so it's gonna represent a lot of sad things for us. Black is a color of sadness and mourning, and so I think that's what we're gonna use here. I want to show you really quick how to make a wood grain texture. So, first thing, we need to make sure we separate the hill from the cross. So let's draw a little line like that. The second thing is we're going to draw a line almost all the way to the middle of our cross. It's going to be a little wavy, but that's okay. Wood texture is usually wavy. When we get to this point on the cross, I'm going to curve my line over like a big parenthesis or a sideways smiley face. And then I'm gonna move it back up and kinda go back and forth like this. Now, I'm going to take my pencil right at the tip of this parenthesis or this smiley face, and I'm gonna do one in the opposite direction, just like this. Now, it kind of looks like an ellipse, which is sort of a football shape, but ours has its ends kind of stretched out a little bit more. All right, the next thing we need to do is we need to draw some ovals on the inside of this ellipse. Like this, and maybe a line right in the middle. And now, we're going to draw some lines that are parallel to this ellipse, just like this. So go ahead and do this sort of thing on your own. Okay, I'm gonna pause really quick. I think over here, it's starting to get a little too repetitious. So I'm gonna add in a little bit of detail. I'm gonna have some of the lines touch each other a little bit more than they usually do. Just like this. And they get maybe a little wavy as they go. That makes it a little more interesting, I think. All right, let's do the same thing on the other side. All right, and here we have our very cool looking black cross pattern. Now all we need to do is take our black colored pencil and lightly shade in the rest of the space. So let's go ahead and do that now. Okay, now as I'm looking at this cross, I feel pretty good about it. But the lines, well, they kind of get lost in the gray that I colored in. So I think I'm gonna go over my lines again, just to make them really pop. All right, I think that looks a little bit better. Let's go down to the hill now and color this in. There we have it, a black cross standing on a black hill. Very sad, and a good reminder to us of the sadness that came along with Jesus dying on the cross. Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to sort of open this or turn the page like a book. So take this side, the right side of your cross, and we're going to fold it over like this. Give it a good fold so that it stays open. All right. That first one was great. Let's make another one. All right, there we have it. Our wood grain is back again. So our next step, let's color it in. All right, that coloring looks pretty good. Let's move on to the hill down here. All right, did you guys notice when I was coloring, I got a little too excited by the very ends of my hills? Yeah, gotta be careful over here because these are very fragile and so they can bend and kind of wrinkle pretty easily. All right, we have finished our black side of the cross. So what we're going to do now is gonna flip our cross right over. There should be a blank side that you see now, but maybe you folded yours a little bit different or flattened it out at the beginning. Just make sure you find a blank side to color on now, okay? The first thing we're going to do is the same thing we did with the black cross, except we're not doing the black cross anymore. All right, this cross is going to be the happier cross. We're going to look at this and remember that Jesus conquered it and that Jesus conquered death. So what you'll need is your brown colored pencil, your green colored pencil, your color of choice colored pencil, I chose purple, and your dark green colored pencil. The first thing we're going to do is take this color of choice colored pencil because we're gonna draw a lily in the middle of this cross. I don't know if you guys know this, but lilies are a flower that we use to remember Easter on Easter Sunday. So we're going to make a little dot, just a barely visible dot in the very center of our cross. Then we're going to make a few petals. I like to think of petals as like water drops, really long, skinny water drops. So I'm gonna make one that goes up, and then one that goes down, then one that goes to the side, and to the other side, and then one that goes this way, sort of diagonally, just like this. And we've got a pretty nice looking lily. Then I like to do this as well, add in the tips of some other petals that are underneath. That really adds a cool layering effect that makes this lily look very bright and full. Okay, now we're not really going to color this in with our extra color. It's just here to give us a cool line because usually the lilies that we use during Easter are white. Okay, I'd like you now to take your green colored pencil and we're going to draw a couple vines coming out of this lily. So let's start here. Just make a line that sort of snakes up the side of the cross. Like this and that. And we've got some beautiful vines. Now what we need to do is add on some leaves. So you don't need to do a leaf on every inch of each vine. But I would like you to add a few for each one. So like this one right here is gonna end up having 4. That's pretty good. Now, the leaf shape is kind of up to you, but I like doing this sort of pointed, again, kind of like a water drop shape. It ties in really nicely, I think, to this lily. So let's add some more here. I'm gonna speed this part of the video up. You can do this at your own pace. All right, once you're done with your very cool vines, we're going to take our brown colored pencil, or remember, if you have a light tan one, that would be even better. And we're going to draw some wood grain in the background. Let me show you how you do that. So let's start in the middle up here. And let's do a gentle waving line going towards the lily. Now, usually this is where we would make that big ellipse, the big knot. But a lily is growing out of that knot right here. So what we're going to do is just draw some parallel, or some lines that do the same thing, lines to the sides of our first line. If it hits the vine, then just hop your pencil over the vine and keep going beyond it, like this. Okay? And that's a good start, I think. Okay, I'm gonna do the rest of these in fast motion. Oop, let's add another one right here. But you can do it at your own pace. And there we have our beautiful wood grain on our cross. Now, for this one, you've got a choice. You can either go in and color in very lightly with this brown, or maybe even a yellow. But I think I'm going to leave mine just like this, because the color we want to focus on right now is the color of life, which is white. All right, let's go down here and color in this hill. So let's add a separating line right here and get some green going. All right, I was a little more careful with the tips there, which helped out a lot. All right, you've made a very beautiful cross by now. There's only one more thing to do, and let's do it again. So let's open up this book and make one more wonderful cross. All right, we did it. We have made a cross for Easter and for Good Friday. Now, those of you who are of a very good memory or have a very good attention to detail, you might be saying, Mr. Simming, did you forget about the dark green color pencil you told us to get out? The answer is maybe a little bit, but right now I'm going to show you what we need to do. So go ahead and take your dark green pencil. We're going to add just a few little pieces of stem work here in the leaves. Now, not every leaf, I think, needs one of these, but by adding in a slightly darker color to the leaf, we can give it a little bit more interest and make it a little bit more realistic as well. All right, so here's what I'd like you to do. Take your cross and we're gonna open it up so that each of the fins sticks out at a 90-degree angle so that from above it almost looks like a cross. During this Holy Week, we're gonna have our cross facing with the black side facing out. You can set it on a desk or a dresser or anywhere that you would like to set it. But then, on Easter, I would like you guys to flip it around to remember and symbolize how Jesus rose from the dead, and he used life to conquer death. This old, scary, dark black cross was changed by Jesus. And now, the very thing that cost Jesus his life is the symbol that we use in our Christian faith because he defeated it. All right, for this project, you can just go ahead and take a picture of it and send it to me. If you would really like to turn it in, then you may. Just make sure your name's on here somewhere, along with your class and your class number. But I would like you to keep this through Easter, so don't turn it in until that week after Easter, if you want to turn it in at all. All right, thanks so much, everybody. Have a good rest of your Holy Week and a good Easter. Bye.